Okay, so we've got this special scope object that Angular gives us that is communicating our data model between our controller and our view. And this uses what is called dependency injection. And dependency injection is not something that's specific to Angular. It's a pattern seen in software in a lot of places. But Angular makes use of it throughout the framework and has its own system for dependency injection. And so at a very kind of high level, dependency injection deals with how functions get created and then how they get a hold of any other pieces of code that they need. And to take a really quick look at the problem that dependency injection solves, let's think about another way that we could get a hold of some dependencies within our controller or within any kind of function in our application. What we could do, and this won't work in Angular, but just conceptually, we could think that we could do something like var scope equals a new scope, and therefore get an instance of scope. And then we could go ahead and declare instances of all sorts of other things that we need as well. The problem is that this can turn into a pretty brittle dependency graph and can get pretty complicated as the application gets bigger. And so the better way to do this is to not declare any new instances at all within the controller, but rather just inject what we need as a dependency. So there's an analogy that I like that kind of illustrates this, which is to think about a car factory. And designers of car factories are pretty smart. They're not going to create a design that only supports one single type of vehicle in a factory. Instead, they're going to design the factory so that pieces of equipment can be swapped out whenever the company wants to make a new type of car. So most of the factory ends up remaining the same, most of the assembly line stays how it is, but its various pieces and templates and parts they get swapped out to support a different type of vehicle. In the same way, we can use dependency injection to swap different pieces of code in and out at various parts of our application. And this is really useful because it means that things are reusable. This scope object just needs to be injected here in our controller, and it can be injected in all of our other controllers as well if we want. There's no kind of instantiation logic that we need to get it going. So that's a brief look at dependency injection. The biggest takeaway is that it gives us a way to bring in other pieces of code easily to various parts of our application, like our controllers.